Well, let's wait to get to that because there was a bunch of interesting stuff that came out this week. Number one, I don't know if you guys remember a couple years. You guys remember the D'Angelo Russell Lakers saga back in the day?
I'm pretty sure they do. It's a very unique
Well,
situation.
yeah. Well, according to Sam Amick, who is a senior writer, NBA writer for The Athletic, the NBA will create an anonymous hotline to report potential violations of protocols in Orlando. Do you expect people or players, anybody in these organizations to anonymously call in and
Uh,
let them know players are not abiding by the rules?
I
I'm
could
calling this the D'Angelo Russell rule, by the way.
definitely. I can't see a player doing it because if a player does it, they're definitely gonna, whichever team it is definitely gonna try to break down who the mole might be. So I'm pretty sure players, even if they want to, they're probably gonna have to sit this one out. Now I don't know if a player might tell a team manager like, "Hey, you might want to tell this, say this on the hotline," so it's not too hot for the players. But I don't think the players definitely gonna have to sit this one out. It's just gonna be too hot in their little bubble.
Hear me out. This I've got a theory now. Hear me out. This could get interesting. Say a high profile player is not following the protocols set for the bubble city, like a James Harden, for instance, because there are rumors going around about James Harden's lifestyle off the court, and possibly why his play in certain cities isn't exactly up to standards. So now playoff time comes around. Could certain teams use this anonymous hotline to kind of swing things in their favor?
If we're looking at it that way, where other teams are telling on other players that's not on their team, maybe definitely. I mean, if you're in a playoff series against Giannis and you just see him out where he might miss the series, I could see maybe teams try to pull it. But I think that's gonna be another situation where whoever tells they're gonna try to find who the mole is, and it's gonna bring some problems. It's gonna be interesting to see what the NBA does about it because if a team comes complaining like, "Hey, the Heat were playing the Heat," and they decided to tell on Giannis because we're playing them in a series, not that they really care what he was doing. So that'd be interesting to see how kind of the NBA plays it. Do they think that's kind of like cheating? Because like they're technically trying to get an advantage, but he technically broke the rules. So who's kind of right here? You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's going to be interesting to see how the NBA plays that going forward because they also have to be able to protect their brand and make sure that their product looks as good as possible. So do they want to compromise themselves with some tough sanctions or disciplinary actions on certain players for not abiding by the rules? Um, or do they kind of give them a slap on the wrist as like a warning, like, hey, don't do this again. We heard what you did.
I think the first time maybe definitely a warning, depending. But this is kind of a unique situation where we kind of don't know because that one time could be the one time that someone brings the virus in. So they might not be able to be that lenient this time. So they might have to really like stick to the rules. But like I said, it's going to be up to them, and it's going to be interesting. And it's going to be interesting what team tries to get the advantage. And I know we've seen the Rockets complain about a lot, especially this year when we've seen them complain about the Spurs game that ended in like triple overtime, but because of a missed dunk that didn't count for Harden. So I know something like that happens for against the Rockets. Like say the Lakers telling the Rockets about Harden going out, they're definitely gonna try to campaign to get that taken out. So it's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, and I'm sorry I had to use them as an example. It just the rumors are out there. So anyway, we talked about LaMarcus Aldridge missing the remainder of the year due to having surgery. So he's out for the Spurs. Big loss for the Spurs. Another name being reported that's going to be missing the remainder of the season is forward, for the Phoenix Suns, Kelly Oubre Jr., who is dealing with a knee issue and is expected to continue to rehab. Now the Suns are one of the teams that's trying to get in. Kelly Oubre's had a fairly good year with them, since getting traded there from Washington. When you look at this, do you think this is gonna be something that hurts their chances of getting into that eighth seed in the West?
For Phoenix, yeah, definitely. I mean, like you said, Kelly Oubre was having a solid season. Definitely, he was playing not better than I expected, but I think he, like I said, he was having a solid season. So I think not having him out there is just another player I don't think they can afford kind of to lose right now. Like I said, he was kind of their best wing defender. He was hitting a lot of threes this year too. So I think Devin Booker and the Suns definitely need the help just as a wing defender out there and stuff like that. So I think without him, I think that definitely hurts their chances. And I think not that their chances were slim already, but I think they kind of had an uphill battle. So I think they need all the help they kind of could get right now. So I don't think they can really take too many losses.
Yeah, I'm on the same page. I think with I didn't think they were gonna get in anyway, but I think with Kelly Oubre Jr. being out, one of their better players on the team, like that probably takes them out of things. Maybe I'm wrong, because Devin Booker's he's a heck of a player, but um that it's a tough loss, and I think ultimately that's going to be one of the main reasons why they don't get to the postseason.
Yeah, like you said, you can Devin Booker's a heck of a player. I think he dropped 72, so anything is possible, especially if they can get DeAndre Ayton on board. So, but I think, like you said, it's a big loss for them. Just like I said, on the wing and another player who's having a great year. Like I said, I don't think they're a team that can take too many losses, being a young team like that.
Right. So, probably maybe the biggest news of the week. And I say this with all regards to you, because this man has helped the team that you're very fond of. The Detroit Pistons finalized a deal with Troy Weaver to make him the franchise's new general manager, according to Adrian Wojnarowski of ESPN. Weaver played a key role in Oklahoma City's strong history of player personnel decisions. Um, I believe he had something to do with them taking Russell Westbrook as high as they did. He's got a lot to do with a lot of the players that they took, and also just another shout out to Sam Presti, who's he's got a long list of executives that were under him that have now gone on to higher roles within the association, and it speaks volumes about his resume as an executive in this league. So well, you know with the other big thing here is he's the ninth current black GM within the association. So with all that being said, what are your thoughts on this move? What do you think it does for the Detroit Pistons, who really need to get something going over there?
I think it's a great move. I was on Twitter voicing my opinion, but I think it's a great move. Like you said, being an OKC fan, and not only an OKC fan, he was in Syracuse for a little while. So just kind of knowing him for a long time, being both a OKC and a Syracuse fan. Like you said, he has played a big role in a lot of personnel that's been there. I said it on Twitter that he was a big role while Melo came to OKC. If a lot of people know the story back then, Melo kind of wasn't looking at OKC. I mean, after they got Paul George, it looked a lot better, but he wasn't really looking at OKC at first. So he played a big role in getting Melo to come there, but not only getting Melo to come there, but he had built that relationship with Melo because he got Melo to go to Syracuse. So he's I think he was the AAU coach in DC at the time. I mean, before Syracuse. So he's an AAU coach at one point. So he's been around and he definitely knows the game. And like you said, he has something to do with Westbrook. Just a lot of other personnel that people may not know about. So I think it's well deserved, and I think Detroit definitely needed because it was time for a change over there. I kind of don't know what they were doing. They're kind of like in a weird situation with I guess they thought that the Blake Griffin situation would work out and bringing Derrick Rose in there and stuff. But I think they're kind of in a weird situation where it's like they have solid veteran players where it's like maybe you can make a push, but it's kind of like maybe it's time to blow it up, especially with them not making the playoffs this year. And then I think they randomly traded Andre Drummond at the deadline, which is like a random trade. I think Detroit
Not
could use
random,
that.
not too random.
Yeah, not too randomly, but the trade in Cleveland was the random part. I think and they didn't get
It was
too much
random
back,
because why would Cleveland do that?
and I don't think they got too much back for him. I
Yeah,
think
that was the other piece. It was number one. What was the point of Cleveland doing it? And the other thing was they really didn't get a lot back.
Yeah, definitely. So I think it's a well deserved. He knows his stuff. So getting in there, I think it's gonna take some time. It may not be the first year, the second year, but I think he's probably gonna tear it down and start to rebuild. And it's kind of what Detroit needed.
Yeah, well, it's funny you say that because I actually read something pretty interesting from Troy Weaver today. Is that he called it, not a rebuild but a restart. So when I hear him say something like that, I believe it's kind of on par with, ironically, the what the organization he just left did. When they got rid of their best players, and yet they're in the fifth seed in the West, with a bunch of, assets for the future, whether they choose to draft players to continue with, or use those assets as, trade bait to bring somebody else in. And aside from that, kind of sort of what the Clippers did, and trading their best guys, and still making excuse me, a playoff push, and then being able to sign big time free agents following it.
Yeah, definitely. I think that Detroit's a market that is starting to get back to where they were. I mean, the years with Isaiah Thomas, and then I think they made it to the conference finals 8 years with Chauncey Billups and them. So I think Detroit is definitely a good market, and they definitely deserve it. So I think him having as long as the owner and stuff lets him do what he does, he knows. Like I say, he knows the game. He's well connected with people. So he definitely can probably get some people to come there, and I'm sure people wouldn't mind being in Detroit. So as long as he has the full reign to do what he wants, it's definitely gonna be a turnaround over there.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with it too. I want to know how much power he's going to be able to have over there, because Stefanski is the president of basketball operations over there. So I want to know exactly, is he going to get the green light to draft who he wants to draft, or is he just going to have some input on things? And ultimately, Kevin Stefanski is a son, but Stefanski will just, do whatever he feels is necessary, while getting some input from Troy Weaver.
Yeah, I think if they're gonna do that, then it kind of. I mean, I think it kind of negates the point of bringing him in. I think if you're gonna bring him in, you should bring him in for his record of knowing talent and stuff like that. So I think with the track record he has, he should really be on board to make the final decision. So if you're not gonna kind of have him in there for that role, I think it kind of defeats the point of kind of bringing him in. I mean, it's good to have his voice and opinion on things, but I think him kind of getting the final say should really be what's going on over there.
No, I agree.